The world knew him as a cricket hero, a champion of the game. But his story is much more than just runs and wickets. This is a story of a man who never bowed down, not to power, not to pressure, not to anyone except his creator. Imran Khan, a name that doesn't just belong to a person, but to a legacy, a vision, a revolution. From the dusty fields of Lahore to the gleaming stadiums of the world, he was the boy with a dream and a fierce determination. A boy who believed that hard work, discipline, and faith could change his destiny. And he did change it, not just for himself, but for millions who would follow him. He conquered cricket like no other, leading Pakistan to its first and only World Cup victory, inspiring a nation with his grit, passion, and leadership. But that was only the beginning, because Imran Khan's heart was set on a higher purpose, a purpose that went beyond personal glory. He stepped out of the comfort zone of fame and fortune and entered the ruthless battlefield of politics, where loyalties shift, where money talks, where the system is rigged against those who dare to dream. And still, he never bowed. When they said politics wasn't for him, he said, "I am here to fix this broken system." When they laughed at his ambitions, he stayed silent and kept working. When they tried to break him with lies and slander, he faced it with courage and stood taller. Imran Khan's journey was never easy. It was filled with trials, losses, setbacks, betrayal, loneliness. Yet his spirit never broke, because he knew who he answered to. He knew his strength came from a power greater than any human force. He wasn't just a leader. He was a symbol for the voiceless, a beacon of hope for those who had lost faith. His words were not just political slogans. They were lessons in perseverance, honesty, and faith. "Don't lose hope," he would say. "Stand tall, fight with truth, and never forget, God is with the patient." Imran Khan represents the very essence of integrity. In a world of corruption and compromise, he chose to stay true to his values. In a world where many bend with the wind, he stood firm like a mountain. Today, he may be behind bars, facing hardships and trials that would break many, but his spirit, that remains unbreakable, because a man who never bowed down to injustice will never bow down in defeat. His mission is no longer just his own. It belongs to every person who dares to dream of a better Pakistan, every person who believes in justice and truth. Imran Khan's story teaches us this. No matter how tough the road, no matter how fierce the storm, stand firm, keep faith, and never give up, because the greatest victories are born from the deepest struggles. He once said, "You never lose until you actually stop trying." And that is the legacy he leaves behind, a legacy of resilience, courage, and relentless hope. The world may have tried to silence him, but they cannot silence the truth he stands for. Imran Khan is more than a politician or a cricketer. He is a living legend, a warrior of truth, a beacon of light in dark times. And remember this, the man who never bowed to man, only bows to his God. The clock is ticking and time waits for no one. Imran Khan's journey is a reminder that true leadership demands sacrifice, where most would choose comfort. He chose battle. Where most would seek safety, he stepped into the storm. Where most would silence their voice, he raised his voice for millions. Today, he sits behind walls not made of stone, but built by lies, fear, and power. But those walls cannot imprison his spirit. He is not defeated. He is not broken. He is not lost. Because a man with faith this strong, with a heart this pure, can never be defeated. His life is a lesson. That real courage means standing alone. When the world turns its back, that real strength means staying true. When everything around you tries to break you, the critics call him names. They try to tarnish his image. They spread false stories. But history will remember the truth, that Imran Khan fought for a dream of justice, a dream of honesty, a dream of a Pakistan where the people rise. He is a legend not because he never fell, but because he never stayed down. And as long as he breathes, his fight will continue. Not just for himself, but for every citizen who believes in change. His story is far from over. The chapters yet to be written will tell of comeback, of redemption, of a nation awakened by his vision. And when that day comes, the world will see the power of faith, the power of truth, and the power of a man who refused to bow down. So when you feel like giving up, remember Imran Khan. Remember a man who stood tall against all odds. A man who faced storms alone. A man who never compromised his values. Because greatness is not born in comfort. It is forged in struggle. It is tested by hardship. And Imran Khan's greatness is undeniable. The clock keeps ticking, and so does his spirit. The man who never bowed down will rise again.